I'm stood here at Dockery Square, and Dockery Square is this lovely development here that we have. And this actual square was redeveloped in the 90s, but actually this was the first development on the bank top, and it was originally built in 1763, and this was built for the ship owners, the really wealthy ship owners, because from here you get absolutely the best view of the harbour mouth. You cannot get a better view than this. And you're right above the gut, which was once the Powburn River. So you get this absolutely just strategic and tremendous place where ship owners could build their lovely mansions up here. And then it was very much the haves and the have-nots. So most of the people at that time, 1763, everyone lived at the river down there. And most people were obviously poor at that time, but the wealthy people, the haves, they lived up here. So they had their mansions, and they were ship owners mostly and traders, and so they could see their ships coming in through the bar here, and you know, they could keep tabs on things. So this was a very important spot. Like I say, this was the first real development in North Shields on the bank top. 1763. Now, it was also the home of Stan Laurel. There's a statue of Stan Laurel in there. Now, Stan Laurel was one of the most famous men in the whole world back in the 1920s. So, like, obviously, he was from North Shields. He lived here, but actually, although this was a very grand place, by the 1950s, it decayed so badly it had to be knocked down. It was like really run down tenements, and then in the 60s they built blocks of flats here, and then they were like not fit for purpose. 20 years later, in the 80s, they got demolished. But this square is actually a real lovely asset to the area, and it is a beautiful thing to have this green space and this lovely laid out square. So it's a tremendous thing. Now, the other thing about this place is this lighthouse here, the high light, slightly classical looking high light, and down there you've got the low light. Now, there's been leading lights here for shipping since 1540, because Henry VIII in 1540, he gave permission to Trinity House to build two lights, one either side of the Powburn, one the low light and this one the high light. Now, the reason he did that in 1540 was he was reorganizing things in the country, and before that time, the Prior of Tynemouth, he had all the power and all the money around here, and the lighthouse was on the headland over there. You can just about see the priory over there. And in 1539, Henry VIII dissolved the church, the English church, and he took money and power from the church, and he reorganized that. And so 1539, the prior was kicked out, his power was taken away, his lands were confiscated, his money was confiscated, and then this then became a sort of reorganization. These two places became the strategic point where Trinity House built these two lights, but they were also like mini forts at the time as well. So this became a bit of a stronghold, and this was all part of Henry VIII's plan at the time. So there's been lights here since 1540. So you've got this again amazing view on a lovely day. You could almost be, you know, some more exotic place, but yeah, here it is, and this is Dockery Square, North Shields, on the bank top.